developments in Vietnam. Green Paradise is a master planned development under our ESG and TOD model, so transit-oriented development model, aligned with Vietnam's shift toward a transit-connected urban growth. So the township is designed to be a self-sustained urban ecosystem, integrating living, working, education, healthcare, retail, recreational within one coordinated plan. The key highlights include the 108-story landmark tower, 7-hectare Blue Waves Theater, and a 800-hectare natural seawater lagoon, which will be developed in phases to support the long-term community and demand. So we maintain low build-up density of around 16% to preserve the landscape, supported by renewable energy integration and a zero-emission internal mobility network. We're all pursuing BREEAM communities and ISO 37122 certifications as part of a structured and long-term sustainability roadmap. So more on Green Paradise. So it is positioned to evolve beyond just a residential township, but an economic zone as well. It is located at the intersection of several regional connectivity, including the Cần Giờ Bridge, the Bến Lức Long Thành Expressway, interchange, and the proposed high-speed rail NC Crossing Bridge linking Ho Chi Minh City and Vũng Tàu. So all of these transport networks would support Green Paradise to become Ho Chi Minh City's next economic power and support not only tourism, leisure, but also the decentralization of the population in and the surrounds of Ho Chi Minh City as well. So in this context, Green Paradise is positioned as a long-term growth model for Vietnam. So building on the policy reforms and macro backdrop, Vinhomes accelerated project execution and expand our national footprint across multiple projects and regions in 2025. Beyond the successful launches in the first 9 months, Vinhomes, together with the broader ecosystem, marked historical milestones on August 19 by simultaneously inaugurating and breaking ground on major national scale projects to celebrate the 80th National Day of Vietnam. The heart of this is the grand opening of the National Exhibition Fair Center in Hanoi, one of the largest in Southeast Asia and among the top 10 globally as well. Across the country, other strategic projects also broke ground, including Vinhomes Quang Han Golf Course in Quảng Ninh, the 965-hectare Vũng Áng Industrial Park in Hà Tĩnh, the 1,090-hectare Phước Vĩnh Tây Township in Tây Ninh, and we also opened the Royal Bridge at Vinhomes Royal Island in Hai Phong. All right, next. Beyond project development, Vinhomes Townships came alive this September to celebrate Vietnam's 80th Independence Day. Across the country, hundreds of thousands of residents and visitors join our activities across our projects and developments at Royal Island. Nearly 250,000 guests joined 4 days of festivities. Meanwhile, Ocean City hosted fireworks, concerts, and cultural parades. Over at Vinhomes Grand Park, residents formed a giant national flag, while the Green Saturday campaign brought families together to plant trees and promote sustainability. Again, part of our ESG commitment. So Moving on to some update on Vinhomes Royal Island. So just 1 year after launch, this project has already transforming Hải Phòng new urban and becoming the destination for the residents of the northern of Vietnam. So we opened Vincom Mega Mall Royal Island in October, which is the city's first true shop entertainment destination. In October, we also opened Vinmec Royal Island Clinic, and that brings world-class healthcare to our residents. The VinSchool International Campus is set to open in August 27, which will add international standard education, whilst the Royal Crystal Pool has already added a resort-style touch to our developments. At the Royal Bridge grand opening, we saw 3,000 runners and nearly 100,000 visitors within the first month as well. Over to Ocean City. So this is home to over 90,000 residents and welcome 14 million visitors in 2024. Vinhomes Ocean City continues to be the benchmark for integrated living in northern Vietnam, with 2,000 retail shops and over 100 community events. It has become a dynamic ecosystem of living, leisure, and entertainment. In the third quarter, we saw the opening of Vincom Mega Mall Ocean City, one of the largest shopping centers in Vietnam, spanning across 70,000 square meter. And from sport facilities, kit races to concerts, Happy Moon festivals, community events, all of these are bringing our residents together, fostering a lively, cohesive, and proud Vietnamese urban culture. So at Vinhomes, we continue to embed a ESG initiative into every aspect of our business. During the Environmental Week of 25, thousands of residents joined green initiatives from cleanup drives and tree planting to waste sorting and eco-awareness programs. At Vinhome Phước Vĩnh Tây, over 2,500 households have received fair and transparent land compensations. Internally, we promote green and ethical culture through ongoing engagement, Go Green team building, and integrated and compliance training, reinforcing ethics, transparency, and sustainability in our daily operations. So at the same time, Vinhomes continue to lead Vietnam's residential market by a wide margin, with 26% share of the condominium market and over 38% and 36% in the mid-end and high-end segments. In the landed property market, we hold a strong position with 39% market share. Together, these achievements has reaffirmed Vinhomes' unmatched scale, execution, excellence, and long-term growth momentum. So in the third quarter, we have also received many accolades. According to Brands Finance Vietnam report, we ranked 7th nationwide, up 2 places from last year, with our brand value increasing by 14% to $1.6 billion. And we are among one of the most valuable real estate brands in the country. We also received the Corporate Excellence Award at the Asia Pacific Enterprise Awards for the second time, and Vinhomes Green City was named the Project of the Year at the Dot Property Vietnam Awards. Let's turn to our financials. For the first 9 months, property sales revenue was 40.1 trillion Vietnam dong across Vinhomes' own and BCC projects. PATMI was 14.4 trillion, which is in line with the delivery schedule we set out at the start of the year. As noted earlier, the majority of handover and bulk sale transaction recognition is weighted towards the fourth quarter. So compared to last year, the variance reflects revenue timing difference. Reported revenue for 9 months was 51.1 trillion, largely from Ocean Park 2 and 3 deliveries, which are now nearly completed. Our newly introduced mega townships, including Vinhomes Wonder City, Green City, Golden City, and Green Paradise, are currently in active sales mode and will begin to contribute materially to our revenue in the fourth quarter onwards. So this slide is a project by project reconciliation. So in 9 months, 25, 4.5 trillion Vietnam dong of profits was generated from BCC projects. With the reduced exposure to BCC projects, Royal Island was the main contributor during this period. So let's have a look at our financial performance overview. So in the 9 months, profit after tax was 15.3 trillion Vietnam dong, and our margins is being driven by the mix of different products of the product deliveries during this period. Moving to financial performance that incorporates BCC in bulk sales. Adjusted revenue has reached 70.4 trillion Vietnam dong in the first 9 months of 25. When these items are incorporated, gross profit increases to 22.3 trillion Vietnam dong, and sales of property inventories margin increased to 42%. Right, turning to the balance sheets, our financial position remains strong and well capitalized, supported by the ramp up of new development cycle. As of September 30th, total assets reached 768.2 trillion Vietnam dong, and total equity was 234.9 trillion Vietnam dong, increasing 36% and 7% respectively compared to the end of 24. The increases in inventories and borrowings mainly reflected the acceleration of development at the newly launched and upcoming large-scale projects. This is intentional investment timing to prepare for major launches and handover scheduled for late 25 and 26. So as these projects enter retail sales and handover phase, we expect cash collections to strengthen and borrowings to moderate accordingly. In parallel, cash and short-term investments increased to 51 trillion Vietnam dong, up 49%, demonstrating healthy liquidity and strong operating cash inflows. All right, next. All right, looking at our capital structure, we continue to manage leverage in a disciplined manner as we advance on our new development cycle. As of the end of the third quarter, our net to equity stood at 39.5%, supported by a strong cash position. With a total debt to asset ratio of just 18%, we remain well positioned to meet all financial obligations and sustain a healthy balance sheet over the long run. Looking ahead, we plan to fund project developments primarily through pre-sales proceeds, which will help support growth while maintaining a safe and efficient leverage profile. Dwelling on to the debt profile, in the first 9 months of 25, we successfully disbursed 21.5 trillion Vietnam dong of corporate bonds, demonstrating our continued access to capital and ability to secure funding for our developments. Our debt portfolio remains predominantly VND. Of 99% of our debt is in Vietnam dong, which minimize our FX risk. As of September, bank borrowings make up the majority of our debt, while domestic bonds accounted for 37% of the total obligations, ensuring diversified funding sources. We also extended our average debt to maturity from 1.7 years to 2 years and reduce our average cost of debt from 10.9% to 10.5%. All right, so together, the strong liquidity, diversified funding, and active debt management position us to capture future growth opportunities whilst maintaining firm financial discipline. So looking ahead, we continue to be confident and look forward to the next quarter and 2026. Our unbilled revenue backlog of 223.9 billion Vietnam dong provides clear visibility for our earnings for the remainder of the year and into 2026. Growth will be driven by the ramp up of our new mega townships, including Green Paradise, Wonder City, Green City, and Golden City, together with the sustained momentum at Royal Island, Ocean Park 2 and 3, Golden Avenue, and Star City. These developments will serve as major engines for both pre-sales and revenue through a balanced mix of sales channels. On the macro side, Vietnam continues to benefit from favorable tailwinds. The country is expected to outperform regional peers, supported by strong GDP growth, disciplined monetary policies, and accelerated fiscal policies. Regulatory reforms, including the provincial consolidation and streamlined approvals, are creating favorable environment for well-capitalized developers like Vinhomes. So in short, with solid fundamentals, a scalable national pipeline, supportive macro conditions, we are confident in delivering strong, sustainable growth through the remainder of the year and beyond. So on that note, I'd like to leave it here and take questions from you. Thank you. So we have a few minutes to collect the questions.
Thank you, Alex. We now open the floor for the questions. If you are joining from the desktop, please submit your questions via the chat window to Vinhomes Meeting. If you are dialing in from a mobile device, you can send your questions through the participant chat list to Vinhomes Meeting. We will do our best to address as
Vinhomes
many
Paradise
questions as time allows.
All right, so I've got the first question from Nguyen Phan, VPBS. Could you please share the progress and expected launch timeline of key upcoming projects such as Lang Vân, Phước Vĩnh Tây, Đức Hòa, and Golf Củ Chi? All right, so Green City has already been launched in June 2026. The remaining projects, Lang Vân, Củ Chi, and Phước Vĩnh Tây has already received the planning proposal 1/500 land allocation, and we completed the remaining procedures to open for sales in the near future. Expected to launch towards the end of 2025 or in 2026. All right, next question. Please provide an update on the status and expected timing and value recognition of the bulk sale transactions at the Golden City, Green City, and Green Paradise projects. Because
Tôi nói có 64.000.
All right, so just got the numbers coming in. So Golden City, Q3 2025, we've got pre-sales from bulk sales of 5,200 billion. Green Paradise, we have reported a significant number from bulk sale transactions in our pre-sales in Q3 2025. All right, next question from Huyen Phan, VPBS. Recently, Techcombank announced its plan to significantly reduce the proportion of real estate lending over the next 5 years. Does management view this as a sign that banks are becoming more cautious towards the real estate sector? And could this trend negatively affect Vinhomes' funding access? So we are unable to comment on behalf of the banks. However, from Vinhomes' perspective, we maintain a diversified funding base comprising a broad panel of both domestic and international banks, alongside other financial channels, financing channels such as the local and international bond markets, as well as advances from customers. So to date, we have not observed any constraints in funding access, which reflects our strong credit profile and long-standing credibility in the capital markets. Câu của Hiền. Okay, next. All right, next question. So the draft amendment to the real estate business law proposes that localities allocate at least 20% of their commercial housing land planned for affordable housing projects with profit margins capped at 20%. If this regulation takes effect, does management believe it would reduce development opportunities or increase competition for large township developers? Would Vinhomes need to adjust its master plan to incorporate this affordable housing component alongside social housing? So Vinhomes has always fully complied with applicable laws and regulations, and we currently see no need to adjust our master plans of our current projects. Under the current housing law, it has already required developers to allocate 20% of the residential area for social housing, or alternatively fulfill this obligation through land substitution or monetary payment subject to regulatory approval. However, we do welcome any policy changes that aim at enhancing development incentives, as well as the supply of social housing in Vietnam as well, particularly those that are related to lifting the profit margin cap for social housing projects. And just to further add on this, the push by the government for social housing project is actually an opportunity for Vinhomes to expand on our customer base as well. And it is in line with our strategy. So as we have consistently communicated with the investors, Vinhomes does have a plan to build up to 500,000 social housing units in the future. And this is definitely in line with our plans. And if anything, it will open up the customer bases that Vinhomes has already enjoyed at the moment. All right, so I've got the next question from Chung HSC. Recently, the Ministry of Construction has proposed restricting credit for the purchase of second and third homes. Does Vinhome consider this proposal feasible? If implemented, do you expect it to have a significant impact on housing demand? So we do not comment on any proposed changes to the law. However, as far as Vinhomes is concerned, we have a diverse customer base that includes both bulk sales partners and individual home buyers. Our product mix is also well diversified, with the majority is designed to serve owner-occupiers, reflecting our commitment to meet the strong housing demand of Vietnam, which continues to outstrip supply. All right, I've got the next question from Chung. HSC, could the company provide an update on sales progress at Vinhomes Cần Giờ, Green City and Golden City, including the proportion of retail versus bulk sales at each project? So for Vinhomes Green Paradise, almost 100%. It is 100% of our pre-sales have been generated from bulk sale transactions only. We have not recognized any retail sales as yet in the third quarter of 25. For Golden City, so we have completed the transactions for 2,430 low-rise units by the end of the third quarter. And it is represented 78% of the units open for sale, including both bulk sales and retail sales, in which the proportion of bulk sales versus retail sales is 37 and 63%. So 37% was bulk sales and 63% was retail sales. So for Green City, accumulatively towards the end of the third quarter, we have completed transactions for 1,949 units, low-rise units, from the 2,900 units that were open for sales, representing 66% of absorption rates. 100% of Green City is retail sales. All right, so next question from Chung HSC again. So does the company expect to recognize any revenue or profit from bulk sale transactions in quarter 4, 2025? So we do expect to recognize revenue coming from the bulk sale transactions in quarter 4, 2025 or beyond. All right, so update on Cần Giờ retail versus bulk sales pre-sales plan. So for quarter 3, 2025, 100% of our pre-sales were coming from bulk sales. And in quarter 4, 25, we expect to open the projects for sales and also recognize revenue as well. All right, next question from Thục Big Cap. What is the total value of bulk pre-sales and other buyers, local or foreign? When is the revenue from these bulk sale transactions expected to be recognized? All right, so as far as we are aware, the bulk sales entities, or the entities that engage in our bulk sales for Cần Giờ, are Vietnamese registered businesses. And we expect to recognize this in quarter 4 of this year. All right, so what projects are included in our pipeline for Q4 2026? So we have already provided the pipelines of our projects. So going forward, we would be launching a number of projects, including the Nam Chang Kek. In Q4 25, we have already launched Nam Chang Kek social housing. And by the end of this year in 2026, we are expected to launch a number of other projects that are already legal under legal procedure and can be executed. So I've got a question from Nga SSI. What is the percentage of retail sales and bulk sales within pre-sales value and unbilled revenue in Q3? So for Q3 25, 68% of our pre-sales was from bulk sales and 32% from retail sales. For unbilled revenue, as of the end of September, 30th of September, 53% bulk sales and 42% retail sales. Right, so I've got another question from SSI. Have the projects like Golden City, Green City, and Royal Island sold well so far? So again, we've received very strong performance, very positive performance from these projects, including Golden City, Green City, and Royal Island. So for Royal Islands, accumulative sold units by the end of Q3 25 was 9,179 units out of 9,220 units open for sales, which represents a 99.6% sales rate. All right, so for Green Paradise, I've got another question from Tan. For Green Paradise, Q3 pre-sales value corresponds to how much NSA and in which phase? How much percentage of these bulk sales do you expect to recognize in Q4 25? And what is the expected gross margin of these transactions? So we do expect to recognize 90% of the pre-sales of Green Paradise in pre-sales in Q3 in Q4 2025. We are expected to recognize revenue from the bulk share transactions in Q4 for Kanza. The margins for these projects is around 45 to 50% of this particular transactions is 45 to 50%. All right, I've got another question from Michael. For the 32,900 units pre-sold for 9 months, 25, what is the split between retail and bulk? So in terms of retail sales mix, retail sales accounted for 26% and bulk sales accounted for 74% for this period. So could you share more details on the bulk sales buyer profile on Green Paradise? Local, foreign, any partner? How many units are you planning to introduce in the first retail launch for Green Paradise? So the buyer for Kanza for the bulk sale transactions is just among one of the many partners that we are working with. So the buyer is a Vietnamese registered business, so we can speak. How many units are you planning to introduce in the first launch of Green Paradise? So we are expected to launch between 2,000 and 3,000 units for Green Paradise in the first launch. All right, so question 26 from Terence He. Congrats on the strong sales at Green Paradise. Is it all bulk sales? What are the margins for these projects or retail sales launch pre-share on ASP and mix of landed versus non-landed? So yeah, for the third quarter, 100% of pre-sales of Green Paradise is bulk sales. The margins that we get for bulk sale transactions are in the order of around 45 to 50%, which is consistent with our previous transactions as well. So for the ASP for Green Paradise, we are anticipating to launch for the pricing starting from between $5,000 and $6,000 US dollars per square meter for land and house package for this projects. But again, depending on the location and the characteristics of the houses, prices could vary, but that's the starting point for this project on a per square meter basis. So between 5,000 and 6,000 starting prices. All right, next question from Long Ngo. What is the maturity profile of your banking borrowing versus domestic bonds? So the average maturity for our current bonds is 1.8 years, whilst the average for bank borrowings is 2.28 years. Okay, so I just want to clarify on the maturity of the bonds. So the 1.8 years is for the existing bonds that we have, but for the newly issued bonds, the majority are between 3 to 4 years for the newly issued bonds. All right, next question from Michael. In your finance income of 15,776 billion, how much of this is interest income versus bookings of bulk sales? So finance income for bulk sales was 3,500,000. The remaining from our finance income is the interests received from the interest and profit sharing received from the BCC projects, interest from loans, deposits, and other incomes. Walang natala. So I've got a question from Tu Pham, ICC. Could you please provide an update on the construction and sales progress of the Vinhomes Green Paradise projects? So for Vinhomes Green Paradise, we are working on the groundwork and the infrastructure of these projects, and we expect to complete the groundwork and start the sales process in Q4 2025, which is very close right now. So at the moment, we are collecting interests, expression of interests from our customers at the moment. Okay, so I've got a question from Chang Ho. May I ask about the legal status of Green Paradise? Have the company secured sales permit approval for doing bulk sales? As you have counted sales at this project and contracted sales, does it mean you have secured all these approvals? Yes, so I can say clearly for the bulk sales transactions, we have received full approvals for bulk sale transactions and approval. So all our transactions have followed the law and the current regulations by the governments. And as a result, the bulk sales pre-sales have been accounted in the Q3 2025, and that's for bulk sales. Okay. All right, so I've got a question from V. The recent draft proposal on limitation on housing deposit loans have any effect on Vinhomes in case it comes in reality? Could Vinhomes share more views on any causes if this is any thank you. So again, as a matter of principle, we don't comment on any proposal by the governments or the laws. However, as I said earlier, Vinhomes has a diverse base of partners that we work with, including the local banks and international banks as well. And also we have a diverse base of customers as well. And our products is naturally catered for owner-occupiers. And so far, we don't have any issues, nor our customers have any issues with housing loans provided by our banking partners. I've got a question from Tam Nguyen. How many units did Vinhomes Paradise contribute to the total pre-sold units in Q3 25? How many units did Vinhomes Green City contribute to the pre-sold units in the first 9 months of 25? Yeah, so we do have the total number of units provided in the slides. However, we can give you for Green Paradise. Green Paradise accounted for 86% of the total pre-sold units in Q3 2025. For Golden City, the number of sold units accounted for 7% of our total sold units in the 9 months 25. And Green City, sold units, represented 6% of the total sold units, in, the first 9 months of 25. Okay, next question from Tanle. The deposit for investment purpose are the assets in balance sheets reach 160 trillion in quarter 3 25. Could you please clarify this deposit for which projects and why is it recorded under deposits? All right, so these deposits are just normal courses of businesses when we acquire developments, projects, and whatnot. We do put down deposits before we get into any binding sales contracts, just to protect our interests, and also in order to complete all the legal procedures before we can have the contracts, either the sales contracts or any other types of contracts. So it's a normal course of business in order to build up our land bank and future investments and developments as well. Ok, 2026 All right, next question. Which projects are expected to contribute to quarter 4 earnings with a breakdown if possible? And is the NPAT target of 42 trillion still achievable considering the soft Q3 results? Quarter 4 profits will be generated from a combination of bulk sale transactions, including the pre-sales that has already been recorded in quarter 3, as well as the continued recognition of handovers at Royal Island, Ocean Park 2, Ocean Park 3, and other projects. So as we speak, we are confident of achieving the targets of 42 billion dong NPAT as set out at the beginning of the year. All right, I've got the last question here. So which projects did you recognize bulk sales from in the P&L in quarter 3? Yeah, so we recognize 5,200 billion Vietnam dong for Vinhomes Golden City transactions. I'm not sure if I missed sales as yet. That concludes the Q&A session, and I thank you very much for your questions, and I'll give it